Cheated on while pregnant. That's right, my ex-boyfriend cheated on me when I was about 6 months pregnant, F27. I was a diner manager, but I took a week off to fly to Europe, where I grew up, to see my family for the first time since giving birth, before it got too late to fly. Once I got home, I saw that someone else's face scrub was in my bathroom. I went crazy. He lied when I asked him to prove it. Denies it all and thinks I'm stupid. I don't know how that got here, maybe it's yours, he says. I was furious. That day I cried all day at work. He yells at me that I don't believe him when I ask him again at night. Don't forget that I'm pregnant and he's putting this on me. Strange. After that, I try to let it go. I chose not to think about it anymore and concentrate on my pregnancy instead. I know he cheated, but he won't say it, so I'm not going to fight with him. Now it's been 1 month since the birth. I was not at blame in a car crash. No one was hurt. The damage to my car is bad. Good job. I need to make a big choice. Will I spend a lot of money on a new car or will I leave him and move back to Europe with our son? Having a car made me feel attached to the US in some way. It felt like a big promise. If I buy a new car, I'll stay here and move forward. I don't know why it did that. After a week, he gets home from work. I locked him up and told him, I'm not going to spend a lot of money on a car if you can't admit that you had sex with a girl in our house without any protection. I'd rather leave and sell everything I own. He thought I would let it go and not punish him. But he did say he cheated. As an aside, I had a weak cervix while I was pregnant, which caused heavy blood during sex. I had to go to the emergency room twice, and I felt awful the whole time. It wasn't the best sex drive, but I still gave it my all. I wasn't going to risk going into labor early for some guy since he's my first kid. Take a break and don't fuck anyone in our house for a while. Finally, after 3 months, I fly back home. Since then, I've been a happy single mom. The best choice I've ever made. I'm so proud of myself for going. Betraying me in such a terrible way when I need them the most is not someone I deserve to be with. I think cheating in your own home is 10 times worse. He is the father of my child, and I won't get in the way of them being together, but I'm glad I broke up with him. I no longer respect him after giving me the most beautiful gift anyone has ever given me. My wife recently figured out my friend's wife was having an affair with me. When I met this woman 5 years ago, it was right after I got divorced. But we got along, and after the show, she went to a bar with me and my friends. She was a little younger than me. We swapped phone numbers after a fun night. While that was going on, I only really used Facebook to keep up with my kids' school and activity schedules. We didn't become friends, we just texted each other. The texts were first just joking around. Sometimes friendly, but nothing that would make you think they were interested in something physical. It turned out she lived 20 minutes away, but we never got together or saw each other. We found out that we would both be at the same show again, but this time in a different city after talking for a few weeks. I had a guy weekend and she had a girl weekend. So, she and her friends came to see my friends and me before the show. We went from bar to bar together. She and her friends were younger than my friends and I was the only one of my friends who wasn't dating. It caught my friends and me's eye that none of these girls were wearing wedding rings. So, we thought none of them were married. All of them were younger than us, and it didn't look like they were interested in anything other than being friends. It was okay, I wasn't interested in a romance at that time. We went to the show after going to a few bars. She and her friends had tickets for the floor, while my friends and I had chairs. I believed that was the end of that night's events. Afterwards, my friends and I went to a bar and then to our rooms. The moment I got to my room, this woman texted me and asked if I would like to join her for more drinks. Since she was near my hotel, I said yes. She wasn't with her friends when I went back outside, it was just her. By the time we got back to my hotel, I don't think I was even done with my drink. It was great. She began to visit my home during the day after we got back home. As part of my job, I can work from home most days. Because her job takes her all over the area, she was able to come over during the day. She would come over after my kids got off of school and leave before they got home. She stayed at my house for a lot of the days my kids were at school. She was with the kids at the same time, even if it wasn't my time. Never on the weekends or at night. It was just a casual friendship. That was just right for me. It never got in the way of my time with my kids or my friends because I was active with them and even coached 2 of their teams. I wasn't looking for a romance either, and I definitely didn't want to be with someone that young who might want kids. I no longer want children. I told her the truth about how I felt, and she didn't mind. She also said she wasn't looking for a romance. It went on for almost a year. I finally met someone, who is now my wife, and broke up with her. That was fine with her too. We don't text each other anymore. We got married a year after I met my wife. I saw this woman again at a neighborhood get-together 2 years ago. My friend put her and her husband in touch with my wife and me. They just bought the house next door to his not long ago. It wasn't weird at all when we saw each other for the first time. We just said hello and smiled. When we got home that night, I told my wife about our past. It's okay with my wife and me that we've both been in relationships before. Not a big deal. Her husband ends up being a pretty cool guy, and he starts hanging out with my group of guys' friends. We become friends with him. He joined one of my fantasy football leagues this year. He now has a Facebook friend. He becomes friends with my wife after I make friends with him. His description makes my wife wonder how long it's been since I was FWB with his wife. It was 5 years ago. She shows me a new post that says he's been married for 8 years to his wife, married for 19 years before my wife cheated on me. I've seen a lot since I was 75 years old in July. Truth be told, I wanted to tell my story to younger people before I d*E. People need to know that I have lung cancer and don't think I will be around for much longer. In 1964, when I was 18, I got married. It seems like I'm no longer the same person. I used to be in great shape, but now I have to use a wheelchair. My wife and I both had to work full-time because I wasn't making enough money to bring us both home. I worked in a building, and she cleaned hotel rooms. We never had kids, so the weekends were still ours. We never fought, but it's been so long since then that I'm forgetting specifics. We got along fine, though. She was able to quit her job and stay at home as I made more money over the years. It was true that our marriage turned more into a friendship as the nights got longer. Though I still loved her, I felt like things were different when we had S***X. In the end, we didn't spend enough time together. It's my job to blame for taking us in the wrong direction. You'll see later that this wasn't the only problem, but I still should have dealt with it when I had the chance. When I get home from work one night, everything seems fine at first. We had dinner ready and baseball on TV, which used to be my favorite sport. In the kitchen, we talked for a while. Then I changed out of my work clothes in my room. There was a box of condoms on my nightstand when I went in. I got scared because I hadn't used a condom in years since I had a vasectomy. When I asked my wife about them right away, she wasn't able to come up with an answer in time. She broke down in tears and admitted that she had been cheating. It looks like she forgot to get rid of the condoms when she had her work friend over for S**X while I was away. I'm not embarrassed to say that hearing that made me cry too. When I asked her why she did this, she said it was because she wasn't interested in me, was lonely, and never liked our S**X. I left because I didn't know what to say. After being married for 19 years, we split up. I was a mess when I was in my 40s. I lost all hope and drive to keep going. I began drinking and became a drinker over time. I didn't stop doing this until I was 60 years old. When I looked in the mirror, I couldn't stand to think that I was a bad man. But I didn't want to date again because I was sure the same thing would happen. I never thought about how bad I was in bed, and I didn't have a good answer. Some wrinkles showed up on my skin, mostly on the back of my legs, but I was proud of my shape for a while, and I swear she liked it when I had S**X with her while we were married. All the way through my 30s, I kept up my tough guy look. I would even wear my scarf to bed, which made her feel hot. I was kind and always helped her out when she asked me to. Her favorite thing about me was that I could always come extra hard because of cock rings. It stands to reason that I couldn't do anything else if I gave it my all. But as time went on, I began to believe that S**X wasn't that important as I got older. It was about 5 years ago that I began dating again. She told me there was nothing wrong with me even though we don't have much S**X. I got married again last year, which made me very happy, but that's also when I found out I have cancer. There isn't much that makes me go now that I'm married. Only my new wife does. Chemo is being tried, but the future doesn't look good. To make the world a better place, I want to share what I've learned over the years with others while I still can. Also, my brain power is slowly going away, so I need to do this right away. I hope everyone who reads this can gain something useful from me that will enhance their life.